Hi everybody, it's Sisters, and welcome to Abundance and Mindset. Today we're going to talk about the topic of growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. You don't want to miss this episode, and stay till the end of the video. The last one will absolutely shock you. But before we get into it, Milo, hit it! Hi everybody, welcome back. So today we are going to talk about growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. So, what comes to mind for you when you hear growth mindset versus a fixed mindset? Right? Comment below, let me know. As you enter the room, click like and subscribe to the channel. So, as we come into the growth mindset, we're starting to just tap into how we grow. So, but it's important to have these mental frames so we can start looking at our lives from a space of either fixed or growth. And so the key is to start to step more into the growth mindset. We start to open the doors to infinite possibilities. So when you hear the term growth mindset versus fixed, I want to hear more about what you think. Can you comment below? Let me know what you think and what your experience is. What comes through for you? What are some of the qualities that are each one of those terms? What definition comes to mind? Would love to hear from you. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and stay to the end of this video because the last one will surprise you. It knocked the wind out of me too. So, oftentimes, let's get into it. So, oftentimes, when we are on the path of growth, right? On the path of expansion, on the path of unlocking our higher self, it requires us to step into a place of being uncomfortable. It requires us to step into a place of being challenged. It requires us to step into a place of not being good at something. But inevitably, that is a precursor for growth to start happening. So, what do we do when we actually grow? Believe it or not, we fail, right? We fall many times, we fail. Think of an infant or toddler when they're starting to walk. They fall a lot, but they get up and go again, and they fall. But at the end of all this falling, they start to walk and become more confident and comfortable. So it is so crazy that these concepts are hardwired into us, but we have so much trouble at times to step into that space of growth. It's like the older we get, the more safety begins to play in. And we have to keep up these images and keep up these statuses. And we start to isolate ourselves into fixed boxes and into stagnant potential instead of allowing ourselves to expand. And so as we go on to this journey and we're unlocking, it's so important to remember that the only way to actually activate growth is to get uncomfortable. So this is an awesome opportunity to look at your life and start to see where you are fixed and where you need growth. More often than not, we're a mixture of both, right? So even some of the highest performers, some of the most successful entrepreneurs, they are open in some areas and there are other areas where they're stagnant. So they're fixed to certain behavioral patterns, they're fixed to certain thought patterns, and certain set of routines that prevents them from growing. So today, what I want to look at and talk about is where in your mind can you identify your willingness to grow and where you're fixed. Some may be relationships. You don't want to get out of your comfort zone. You don't want to expand into something new. For others, it may be your workout routine. You're doing the same thing, not allowing newness to flow in. For others, it may be, your job. Maybe you're open in some areas, like in your career, but you're closed off in other areas. So the key is to start to pull down the boundaries and the limitations in each one of these domains and allow for more magic to flow. So let's talk about some of those areas where you're fixed and how we can work on that and improve it. Let's tune in to, the place that you feel stuck, a certain area, or maybe where you feel like you need to open up or been wanting to open up, but you haven't, afraid of being judged, or maybe it's something that you've been talking about for a long time, year after year after year, nothing has changed. So if nothing changes, right? You have to do the work. So what does that look like? When we start to, explore this idea, what does that feel like? What does that next step look like? Or what does it entail? When you start to walk into the space of growth. Because the only way to grow is to challenge yourself. The only way to change is to take a step into the space of change. And so, just really give that some thought and let it sink in. There are really some fundamental differences between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. So growth mindset embrace change. Change is constant. Change is always happening. Some people are so stuck on things being the same that when change happens, it annihilates their world. But when people with growth mindset, they're embracers of change. They welcome change. They initiate change because they know with change, that's where growth happens, and that's where the magic is. So you have to try to persevere in the face of failures, right? You know that there's magic on the other side. So you persevere in the face of failure because you know on the other side it's going to make you a better person. It's also in a growth mindset that you're willing to allow your talents and abilities to be developed, right? So it takes courage to say, I don't know this. I don't know something. It takes courage to take another course. It takes courage to step into the unknown. It takes courage to step into places and admit where you're not very good and you need to grow. But on the other side, that's where the magic is. So one of the fundamental differences between growth and fixed mindset is that growth focuses on the process, not the outcome. So the fixed mindset says, I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to stay comfortable. I'm not going to go after it. Growth mindset focuses on the journey is the reward, knowing that there's magic in the process, right? There's talent that's going to be developed and learned about deeper levels of yourself. People with growth mindset find inspiration in other people's successes. They look at other people who are walking a walk, achieving things, living from a place of talent, leading from a place of magic, and they say, wow, that's inspiring. And they use that as inspiration to fuel their fire. Okay? Another one is they accept criticism as a way to learn. Constructive criticism is some of the best feedback that you can get. It's one of the most powerful tools that you can utilize. Allowing for your process to be critiqued. Think about Michael Jordan, or on the basketball court, or LeBron James. There's a reason why there's a coach there that allows for feedback to come in, so that you can tweak things, so that your talents come to life in the most magical way possible. Two more concepts of growth mindset. Growth mindset look for people who challenge them to grow. That's a fundamental difference between growth mindset and fixed mindset. Growth mindset, they're looking for people to challenge them to grow, whereas fixed mindset, it's like, they don't want people around them that are challenging them. They just, stay in the village where they keep them in the space. Growth mindset, you're putting yourself in a space where you might not be the best, but it's inevitably best for you. And so the last concept of growth mindset is that They're open to collaboration and motivation. Having a growth mindset takes you from a space of me to we, knowing that is in the community, in collaboration, in those spaces of connection where creativity is inevitable. So when you hear these terms, I'm hoping that you can identify some spaces in your life where you're open to this growth mindset, and also some spaces where you can lean into it so that you can be, just more open to growth versus fixed. So on the flip side, if we talk about the fixed mindset, one, they avoid challenges. Why do they avoid challenges? Because it stretches us. It stretches us. It challenges us. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good. But how many times have you stepped into a challenge and on the other side of that side is magic? You are expanded. So an attribute of fixed means that you're avoiding challenge. So in a magical world that we live in, this is not a space and a place to avoid challenge. This is a time for growth. Fixed mindset, give up easily. They wake up a few mornings in a row, they hit those push-ups, they do those crunches, they have their meal plan, and next thing you know, they're like, this is too hard. They get courage, they find an excuse to stop, right? Their talents and abilities are fixed. They're not trying to expand their talents at all. They're just, they're not trying to expand their abilities. We all know that person 10 years ago, they're doing the same thing now. They're fixed, their behaviors are the same, their skill set is the same, and inevitably their creativity is being stifled. So once again, fixed mindset focuses on the outcome, not the process. Super important. So this last one stood out to me. Fixed mindset feels threatened by the success of others. Right? Let that sink in for a minute. There's a term that's called empathetic and overflowing joy for other success. So, but a fixed mindset feels threatened by the success of others, whereas a growth mindset embraces the success of others. Because when other people win, we can all win too. We can all break through and reach higher levels. So it paves a pathway for us to, just win. Where we all win is the growth mindset. Fixed mindset is only some of us can win. Another quality, those with a fixed mindset run from, they run from error. They do not embrace the idea of being smarter. So people with a fixed mindset are afraid to show their failures. People with a fixed mindset look for people who can reinforce their self-esteem, reinforce why they are where they are. Hey, I'm just doing okay. I'm just getting by. My relationship or whatever is just okay. It's just average. Hey, I'm just in shape. They surround themselves with yes men. Like, hey, you're good enough. That's good. Stay right there. Where on the flip side, growth mindset surrounds themselves with people who give them the real, because they want to see them unlock all their potential. They want to see the best for them. So there's fundamental differences between fixed and growth mindset. And it's really important to identify on a daily basis where you are at, both expanding and where you are limiting yourself, right? That makes sense. I hope you received this message today. Please click like, subscribe, and share my video. And I'll be back for more content. If anything in this video resonates with you, please leave a comment below. Would love to hear from you. In the description below, I have as well a beautiful meditation for you to help you focus on achieving your desires and dreams. So click on the description, click on the link, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for tuning in.